Hello, beautiful people. Hello, welcome. We are live, or we are on video, or we are talking. We are talking about the path of no Dharma, which kind of is a way of bringing this understanding together, kind of with the past, where we as humanity is going, and where we have come from. There's different ways of talking about everything, and sometimes there's like helps to kind of see a bigger picture, so as to kind of like because there's has to be an intention with what you're doing, whether you're liking something or doing something, or how you're connecting with your husbands or wives or kids or life, or with your work. So the path of no Dharma, I call this, because it is the feminine. It's the chaos, is that instinctual wisdom. And yet, to kind of understand no Dharma, we have to kind of understand Dharma. Dharma means law, the law. And to understand the law or Dharma, we have to kind of understand karma. So then we kind of have these different levels of awareness, levels of connection. So all these things they have through our life, through the millennia of years, the many decades, millions of years that we have lived, we have kind of progressed as humankind. And in the path of karma, which was kind of the old before Dharma, was more of connecting as a society, being led by like a great being. There were great beings, it's always been, but it was a place of kind of seeking power, seeking wisdom, seeking knowledge, seeking favors through kind of sacrifice or ceremonies. You have to go out into these tests or sacrificing of things to kind of get wisdom, to show adherence, show allegiance. And thus you were kind of bestowed, you were given, be allowed to be a noble person, a wise person, a strong person, having different spiritual gifts. So it's more like focused on spiritual gifts at that time. Then we kind of move into Dharma, which is the law, which we kind of had the Buddha, the last Buddha was talking about this. And also Moses, kind of the laws on the mountain, the 10 laws, which was kind of a way of not just bowing down to a God or to life, but to coming into more of like a oneness with God, or with, becoming a son of God, or like into oneness as Buddha did. And into peace, different ways of talking about things. Then we kind of step into the next Dharma, or the path of no Dharma, which is the feminine, which was kind of what Jesus started opening up to. He stepped into spiritual being, opening up that energy. The feminine is more the energy that you're integrating the energy of life. You're allowing it to come in. You're seeing yourself on a different level, so it opens up a new path. And that's what you see from the Old Testament, which was more Dharma focused or also karma focused, to like No Dharma, which was less of teachings and more opening up to that natural being. Some people follow Dharma, some people don't follow the Dharma. That is where No Dharma comes in. And that is where we're kind of stepping into the feminine, where we can kind of integrate this instinctual wisdom, where what Jesus represented more was that he opened up the energy connection. And then from that, you are guided towards this awakening. And this is a little bit, you have seen it, it's always existed, all these different things. It's just that as humanity has matured, you can embrace and integrate these different levels more, so you can grow as a human being. So you can see it, the feminine way of learning, it's more instinctual. It's just like picking up like from your parents, just how they cook or how they cut your hair or how they do their business, or somebody else in your tribe or around you on TV, and suddenly just pick it up. You get that instinctual wisdom, and yet you don't see it. So it might still take 20, 30, 40 years to kind of grow into it. So that is kind of where like it's kind of the path of no rules in a way. And yet to kind of understand rules or no rules, you have to understand rules. If you have to understand the path of Dharma, you have to also understand Dharma, because if you just awaken to the feminine, which is no rules, without understanding what rules are, you are kind of just like a spoiled child that won't grow up, because you're just resisting, and you're just like want to be special. You want to be entitled. You want to be in your identity. The feminine, you can be anything. And yet, if you don't accept that there's also rules and regulations and that stuff, that life is also part of that, the masculine, then you are always resisting the masculine. So what happens in these days, you see the feminine, a lot of women are hating on the man, where like the blacks are hating on the whites. There's all these, the countries are hating on colonizers. Like there's all these, one country's hating another for what has happened a million years ago. So we're not accepting the laws of the past, that there has been power, there has been wisdom, and now to kind of step into that third of love, you kind of have to dare to honor that there is something called power. Someone might be stronger than you, some weaker than you. There's also some people that are smarter than you, and somebody that is more stupid than you. So some people are creating wise things. Some people created the first car, and some people chose not to. Doesn't make you worse. It just means that we're evolving. We needed to evolve. We chose as humanity to evolve, so we can evolve through karma and dharma and into no dharma, which dharma brings you into the freedom of just who you are as a person. And yet, for you to be a person, you have to also accept that people are stuck in their identities, whether it's color or nation or gender or family or tribe. So the path of no path to truly awaken into the feminine requires more maturity, because you also have to accept both karma and dharma. and be at peace with those, to step into the path of forgiveness. For you to truly be in you, you have to forgive that some people will accept who you are and some people won't accept who you are. For some people you are a threat, some people you are a blessing. So the feminine, so that's where a lot of people get stuck in the feminine, because we all have our feminine, where we have this instinctual wisdom, which everybody has different ones, because we're like an ant farm. We have different tasks for the wisdom of the universe to come through, the wisdom of God or life or whatever you call it. But to kind of be in this wisdom, you also have to understand that people are at different places. And you also have to understand that in the moment you are not accepting something, you might be resisting it. And then when people get into the power, they can be into greed. So out of greed or out of hate or out of ignorance, people will create drama. And that makes it like they can, like it's you against me. It's like men against women, or it's like this color against this color. It's this nation against this. So we create, societies where we are resisting others. And we can't truly step into our feminine wisdom without stepping into forgiveness of this. To truly dare to accept that some people are at war, some people are rich, some people are poor, some people understand the inherent wisdom in all of life has given everyone the place they need to be. Not everybody needs to be rich, not everybody needs to be poor, not everybody needs to be black or white or American or Norwegian or Chinese or Russian or whatever. Not everybody needs to cook, not everybody needs to preach, not everybody needs to have a kid, not everybody needs. So we have the freedom to follow every flow, but you also have to realize that you might be led astray. You might already be brainwashed. What people tell you to do might not be what you need. When people say you need this, or you need your girlfriend, so you need this, or you need a lot of money, or this, you might just be led astray. So that is where truth comes in. That is where some people are stuck in karma, some people are stuck in dharma, truth, and then you have to go beyond truth to reality. From being to no being, that we have to be, that is the path of freedom. And yes, most people don't necessarily know if they're free or not, because they can still be stuck in identities of different kinds. So they're talking about preaching freedom, but they're actually not necessarily doing that. So that's the difference between maybe a spiritual teacher and actually somebody who's a coach, or somebody who's just teaching kind of a technique of different kinds, like a meditation or yoga. They might not necessarily have found freedom. And yet you have to realize that you haven't totally found freedom, that most people are still walking towards freedom. So that gives you patience. You're still walking towards freedom. And yet you're already free, but you still have to walk. You still have to honor life, that things are still not all come together. There's still pieces of you that still are stuck, brainwashed, or whatever, that down the line will come into fruition and clarity. So the path to clarity is, a path of patience and, persistence. And yet we have to just trust that it will come one step at a time. So, oh, that was nice. Gave a little clouds. That's where we can be blinded by the light. The light sounds very beautiful, A jewel sounds very beautiful. An idea sounds very beautiful, but sometimes you need the clouds, the rain to rinse you, to awaken you to that there is still stuff that is stuck. So, and that was a little speech. If this is the first time you're here or not, we're kind of sharing these different ways of seeing this new teaching, starting to see that to kind of step into no Dharma, or to the path of body being, or the ease of life, you have to kind of, you probably already have to be kind of stuck in both karma and dharma to kind of realize that you are still looking for something more. You're still looking for a bigger picture, more simplicity, the more advanced teachings. The teachings that are not in the books. There is no books that gives you the advanced teaching, because that has not been needed, and you wouldn't be able to understand it completely. So it's been more of a hidden teachings or teaching. So, oh, you can see me here too. So that's like sometimes we're in the light, but then we have to kind of step back to see, can we allow the light to be within us? Or else it just becomes outside light. And then you kind of get stuck in wanting it, desiring it, instead of relaxation and truth and peace, which is the path of wisdom. Yes. So if you lay down wherever you are, close your eyes, or you might just look at me for that matter, but also kind of open up to the space around you where you are. I will read a little chapter of my book, The Ease of Being. You can find it on Amazon or links in my bio. And we're talking about flow, which is kind of the feminine, which is the path of Dharma. So let's take it in. The flow within our body being encompasses all and nothing. The body can be felt as a central star shining forth from within, or as 1,000 diamonds sparkling throughout our body being. There can be a general breathing, or parts of our body breathing, such as an expansion in our feet or our fingers, or tingling in our thighs or in our head. This flow can be huge or non-perceivable. Such is the wonders of our body being. So that's what we're kind of taking in when you're allowing the energy to settle in, trusting in it. It can be there, felt sometimes, and sometimes you feel nothing. So it is more of, sometimes you have thoughts, sometimes you have no thoughts. Sometimes you have clarity, sometimes you have no clarity. There's a flow between all these different things. So let yourself kind of let those shoulders drop a little bit more, your hands drop. Let's come down into your chest, into your butt, into your knees, into your feet. And then it's like almost like an expansion, like a yawn. It comes in as the whole energy body activates. And there's like a breath that is perceived or not perceived. And it comes up into your body, up into your face, up into your jaw, up through your head, and at the same time down in your feet. So it's like a bubble expanding. It's like a burp. And it's a letting go, just returning to here, to you, to your body, to your being, to this room, to the sounds, to the light, to the smell, to the freshness of this moment, to the air. As it is surrendering and you're just letting it all be. And then you open up like a cat, just stretching it out and opening your eyes and taking it in, letting it go, letting the moment just disappear. Beautiful. If you're new here, you can always like and subscribe or follow or reach out. And if you have some questions, or follow me on the next Wednesday of Ease. If you want to contribute, donations are always beautiful. Thank you for those who do that. Giving something back. Everybody does in different ways. And it was beautiful to see you today. If you are here now or if you are liking this later, it was beautiful. And I will see you next time. Bye.